Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy, and I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have an easy watercolor technique to share with you. I am no watercolor expert, but this one I can do, and if I can do it, you can do it too. So we're going to be looking at this particular card and I'll show you how to make it. So let's get started right away. All right, here we go. So let's see. So this card actually features the Blueberry Bunches stamp set. So here it is. Now I come from a wild blueberry growing area here in southwestern New Brunswick, and I really love blueberries. I have wild blueberries on my cereal almost every morning, and I really appreciate this superfood. And they're really quite cute little berries as well. And I want to show you today how we can work a little magic and turn these blueberries into pink berries. So they might be huckleberries or some other kind of berry that might grow in your area, and you could make these berries with any color you like. You could turn them into cranberries or whatever other kind of berries you would like. So we're going to get right to that. And I'll tell you also today about some of my classes that I have coming up. So maybe I will start with that and just show you some of the samples from my classes that are coming up. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you could join today. I am a bit late today, as some of you may have noticed who watch me often. We got a new wire fox terrier puppy a week and a half ago, and my usual schedule is, well, let's say all out of whack. So when the puppy needs out or needs something, needs attention, and then our other dog needs something too, it's just been a little bit crazy here. So please bear with me for the next little bit when I'm not online exactly when I said I would be, because sometimes I'm outside with one of the dogs, and they're beautiful terriers, and we're really happy to have them with us. So if you have dogs, maybe you can let me know if you've experienced this too, that your appointments suddenly kind of go out the window when you get a new puppy. All right, so this is one of the classes that I have coming up. It's available for registration now, and the link is right here in this post. And this particular class is a simple stamping class. And we're only using one kind of ink, one color, and it is Sweet Sorbet. And the stamp set that we're going to be using is this one, the Sweetest Cherry stamp set. This is one of my favorite stamp sets in the annual catalog, and I really like it. So we're going to be using that to make 3 cards. The class is $35, including shipping anywhere in Canada. So no extra charge for shipping. And it also includes a $15 goodie bag in the class. So you get to make 3 cards, you get your $15 goodie bag, you get your shipping, all for $35. So I've just gone through and redone the pricing on all my classes and what they include. I really went through and thought through what I could provide to give more value, because I know this is not an easy time for a lot of us in terms of economics. So I have revamped everything. So this is another class that is coming up. The other one was a simple stamping class. This one is actually using Stampin' Write markers as your inks when you make your cards. So we're not using any ink pads. I'm simply going to be using this set of Stampin' Write markers. So you could get this set, or maybe you got it during Celebration. It was one of the freebie choices with a $120 spend. This is the new Core Colors collection. Or you could use other Stampin' Write markers. The Stampin' Blends won't work for this because they're a different technology being based on alcohol. But these ones are water-based, and so you'll need these kind of markers to do this class, whatever colors you choose. But these are the colors that I'm going to be using, so they will coordinate with all the things I use in the class on the cards. So this is one of the cards that we're going to be making. And you can see how I blended the marker colors together to make this image of the mussel. And then I use them here to make the sentiment. So that gives you an idea of what we're going to do in that class. And this is the stamp set that I'm going to base it on. You can use whatever stamp set you particularly like, but I'm going to be using this one. And I really like this set as well, being near a seaside area here. And this class as well is $35, again, including shipping, including a $15 goodie bag, and your class packets for your 3 cards. And then my final class that I have on offer right now is this one. It's with the brand new Latte Love bundle and the accompanying suite. Now, I love coffee. Do we have any other coffee fans out there? Because I just love this stuff. And this, I've just been waiting for this particular suite to come out. So you can see all the different cups and things that you have for Latte Love, the stamp set. And you could turn it also into tea. You could turn it into hot chocolate or matcha or whatever you'd like. And then here are the dies too. Here, I'll put it this way. So you can get a coffee carafe, you've got cups, you've got French press, which is actually the kind of coffee maker we use at our house, and all kinds of coffee paraphernalia here. So that's going to be a really fun class. And I'm going to show you the papers as well because I love, love, love them. So here are some of the papers from the Latte Love and a Little Latte suite and bundle. I'll flip them over so you can see the other sides as well. So look at these cute little cups. I like those. And these look like coffee stains. If you're a fellow coffee drinker, you're probably familiar with those. And you got beans and hearts. This looks like something fancy made into a latte. So that particular class with the Latte Love, it's going to be $55. In that you get your shipping included, so no extra charge. I've redone all my pricing for my classes, so they all include the shipping cost, no extra cost. You'll get a $30 goodie bag and also 3 card packets to make 3 different cards. So if you have any questions about any of the classes, let me know. There is a link right in this post that will take you directly to my classes. You can register for all of them in the same form now. I have redone that completely. Or you can go to my website and see sneak peeks of them all at juliescraftaddict.com and then just click on my classes. So these are all available anywhere in Canada and shipping's included in them all. So I hope to see some of you at a future class. But for today, let's go ahead and have our little mini class on this card. So let's do the most involved piece first. So that would be these berries here. So I'm just going to open up my blueberry bunches. We're going to take out the smaller of the 2 berry images here. And we are going to stamp that on basic white cardstock. So I'm just going to move that to the side so we don't get it messy. And this will fit actually on a regular kit block. So Stampin' Up! Sells blocks separately, but honestly, I use mostly these free blocks that came as part of kits the most. So I really like to use those. And here is the little piece of paper we need. So I'm using the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm going to really ink this up a lot. So what I find with the Tuxedo Black is that you get kind of a grayed out image unless you really give it what you can in terms of inking it up. So I ink it up really, really well. Do others find that as well, that you have to really ink this? Like, it'll make a really nice image, gives you very good resolution. It's a very nice ink, but I like to make sure that I really give it a good coating. Okay, and maybe you can let me know, anybody else got this Blueberry Bunches set? I really like this one. I just finished designing a class about it and sending out my class packets as well. So watch on my blog in the coming weeks and you'll see some more of these cards using the Blueberry Bunches set. And if you follow my blog, for the past week, it's been kind of inactive since about the 28th of February, and that's simply because we got back from our holiday then with a brand new 9-week-old puppy. So, well, my time has kind of been elsewhere. It's been just a little busy in the last week and a half, but I'm not giving up on my blog. And today there is a brand new blog post with all the instructions and supplies needed for this particular card. So do keep watching. I've got lots of cards that I want to post in the coming days from my recent classes, so you can kind of get an idea what I do in my classes. And those will be going up on the blog whenever I can imagine, or whenever I can manage it. I can imagine it, it's just a matter of actually doing it. Okay, so there's my image. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Moody Mauve, or Mauve, depending on where in North America you live. You might pronounce it that way. I'm just going to open my stamp pad, and then I'm going to stamp one of these blocks in. Just like that. That's all you need, just kind of a bit of ink on it. And now I can close this up, and that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to the side for right now. And what I'm going to use is my water painters. So you get 3 of these water painters, a larger one, a medium one, and a small one. And I'm going to be using the small one so I can get precision with this. So these are $18 and you get the 3. And all you do is you unscrew them here in the middle, and you just add water in the cylinder there. Okay, and at first I couldn't open them, and I'll tell you why. When you open them, you have to go the opposite way that I'd expect. So I would expect you would do this way. No, the other way. I would expect you to do the other way. Anyhow, I can't remember which way I tried first, but they opened the opposite way that I thought. That's the point. So if you can't open them one way, try twisting in the opposite direction, and that'll get them for you. So there is the brush, and it's got a push right on that. So the push will bring out the water. Carolyn's asking, could you use rubbing alcohol also? Yeah, you would get a completely different effect with that. Yeah, if you do try it, let me know. It'd be really good to see what that looks like. I have tried it on a few things in the past. I'm not sure about this exact card that I've designed, if it would work for that, but yeah, definitely you can use rubbing alcohol as well. I'm not sure if it would damage these pens, if you're talking about putting it in the pens. I don't know. I know they're made for water, but I don't know what would happen if you put that in them, if it would degrade the brush or anything like that. I have no idea. But that's certainly an idea. It's always good to come up with new creative options for sure. So yeah, thanks for sharing that idea. That's cool. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just putting enough water here so that I kind of have a wash, and I want it to be quite a bit lighter than those drops on the edge there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of try it here. I'm just going to try it on the side there. So look at that color. That's a pretty nice tone, isn't it? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to brush on a fair bit of water because I want this to dry with a watercolor look to it. If you don't want such a watery look, and you want to be more precise about it, that's okay. You can do it that way too. But I found that putting more water rather than less gave it that really nice wash. And so that's what I did when I made my original card there. So I'm just re-dipping every once in a while, just so I've got enough water on my brush. I don't want it to go all dark, so it covers in all of the detail that's there in those images. But I do want it to have enough color. So if you go outside the lines or whatever, you don't have to worry too much because watercolor isn't precise, right? So it's quite forgiving. And if you don't cover every part of the image, that's okay too. So very quickly like that, that's what I got. So it's a pretty good result. Now let's see, I'm going to dip in some of these other little bits here. That's a little bit too much, so let me just make that a little bit less. And what I'm going to do is go over some of these other lines here. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little shading on top of where the lines are in the image. Okay, so really, really simple. I'm just going where the black lines are there. Oh, maybe you can hear my puppy in the background. She's not very impressed that I'm not paying attention to her right now. She's thinking that it really should be playtime, but it's playtime for me right now to do this video, so I'll get to her later. All right, let's see. So we're just going to add a little bit more shading. All right, so that just makes them kind of dark around the edges. And when it dries, it won't be that dark. It'll dry more like this. So the gradations will be much more natural. But you can add more water, you can add more color, whatever you would like to do. So I'm just going to move this block out of the way. And it can get a little bit messy too, so you want to be aware of that. All right, I've got my stamp chamois right here, so I'm going to squeeze out some of that water so that my brush is clean again. And I'm just going to try it on the edge here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So next I'm going to go with the green. So I'm going to do a wash first, just on the leaves, of Granny Apple Green. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to color them straight up Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to repeat the same process I did before. So here is my block. There's the green. That should be enough. And we'll turn that into a nice wash. And I'll just move that out of the way. There we go. So I'm just going to squeeze some water in there again. And you can see there's a bit of a wash on there. Let's see how dark that is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to put on a fair bit of water, just like I did before, and do it quite quickly. So I don't want anything too precise. I'm just going to brush it right on. And I don't want to make the paper too wet. There is a watercolor paper you can get from Stampin' Up! And I tried this same thing with that actually, but I didn't like the result as well because it's a bit of an off-white paper and I just wanted white. Because the DSP that I'm using is Winter Meadow and it has a white background. And so really I didn't want an off-white background. I wanted a white background. But just be aware that when you do watercoloring on the basic white cardstock, which is what this is, you will get a little bit of bowing in the paper. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to move it over so you can see what I mean. So you can see it's kind of bowing in the middle there because the water is making it bow. But that's okay because it actually gives your image more of a 3D effect when you put it on your card. And I actually like the way that it looked when I was finished. So you can decide if you like that or if you want to use the watercolor paper because it's nice too. All right, I'll just get all that green out of there. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to my final bit, and that is to add a little bit of shading here. And I'm going to do that with shaded spruce. And the simple reason for that is that I'm trying to match as much as I can these colors in here. So the color in the DSP, it is going to be garden green, which I thought was a bit dark for what I was doing. So I chose Granny Apple, and it kind of goes with the lighter color there. And then the darker color is the shaded spruce. So that's why I went with that. All right, so I shouldn't need too much of that. That's all. I think that'll do. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Carolyn. Yeah. Yeah, I was really pretty happy with the result here. I tried something new. I've done a little watercoloring in the past, but like I said, I'm certainly no expert in it. And I just wanted to give it a go and kind of see what I could do. And I was really happy that you don't have to be a big expert in this to get a really nice result. All right, so let's see. Is that going to be too dark? It might be. Let's put a little more water in there. I don't think I want it that dark. So the more water you put, the lighter it'll get for you. And I think that'll do. So I'm just going to kind of trace the lines in the leaves. That's all I'm doing. And with that, you'll get a little bit of shading. So an interesting effect on your card and on your leaves. You don't need a lot, and because it's watercolor, it just kind of all blends, and I just really like the effect. I find it helpful also to just move your image around, and you can kind of figure out what the best way is to come at it for you. All right, so here we go. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, I should tell you too, I have a BOGO coming up. Starting March 17th, I'm having a BOGO. So when you purchase new product with me from the Stampin' Up! Website, anything that you want, or from the catalogs, whatever, you can select from my retired stash an equivalent amount of product free, and then you just pay the shipping to get it sent to you. So I'm going to be opening my group to everybody at the same time. So I'll be opening it at 7:30 p.m. Atlantic time on March 17th. And to get in on the sale and to get in when the doors open, so to speak, what you can do is join my Facebook group. And I've got the link right here in this post. So you can have a look at that and just click through and request to join. And I'll just let everybody in at the same time on the 17th. So if you don't hear anything back right now, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean you haven't joined the group. You'll only be able to get into the group at that time, 7:30 p.m. Atlantic on the 17th. But please do join now, and then I'll know how many people to expect, and I'll have your name on the list to let you in right when the doors open. So here's what I got. And you could color these centers too if you wanted. Like in the DSP, they're a dark green, and I tried that. I tried a number of things, but I tried that here and I didn't like it. I just thought it looked funny. So, and I had more green in the leaves, so I didn't like that either. This one, I kind of tried out some different things. I tried markers, and that didn't have quite the same effect either. And I'll show you this one too. This was the watercolor paper. And so see, it had that background of off-white. And yeah, that isn't really what I was looking for either. So I went with it this way. So, so you can kind of try out different things, trial and error, and see what you like. Now we're going to cut that out, but I'm going to leave that for a few minutes just to make sure that it's completely dry. Oh, you like the two greens together, Carolyn? Yeah, I did too. I thought that they worked rather well. So I'm glad you think so too. All right, so let's go ahead and we will stamp our next part, which is our sentiment. So I used "Sending you bunches of birthday wishes" because it seems like everybody always needs a birthday card on hand. So that's always nice. So let's open up our blueberry bunches again. And here we go. So, oops, all of my blocks are in use. I gotta grab another one. All right. This is a project where you'll need a lot of blocks. You'll want multiple blocks ready. And we're going to use that Moody Mauve again. So you could use any of the colors that you wanted that are in this card. You could even use black. That would be fine too. All right, let's see how juicy that is. That looks pretty good. So I'm just going to move that down, and I'm lining it up on my grid paper, which you actually can buy from Stampin' Up. They sell this grid paper in sets of 100. Now, I find it invaluable for when you want something to be straight like this. I sometimes use it for measuring, but just as often, I want to make sure my items are straight that I'm doing. Let's see if we can do that. All right, so I'm just going to press it down for a few seconds. This ink pad is really juicy, so I'll make sure the ink transfers there. And let's see what we got. Oh yeah, stamped very nicely. Look at that. Very clear. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my stamp here with my chamois. If you haven't seen one of these chamois before, they're just like a foamy material, and I really love them because all you put on them is water. So you can see they're pliable when you put the water on. They can get as stained as you want. You can run them under water. I find warm water works the best, and then kind of wring them out gently like a dishcloth, and it gets a lot of that ink out. The staining doesn't hurt it at all, and you can just keep using it and using it almost indefinitely. So it's much better for me anyway than using chemicals to clean things. I don't really like that, so I prefer to have just the water. All right, so let's get out our scissors now. We'll give our image a little bit longer to dry up, and we're just going to cut chevron shapes here in each end of our sentiment. Okay, so let's get this other side done. So the hard part of this card, if you want to put it in those words, I guess that's in quote marks, the hard part is doing the watercoloring, but that's also a really fun part. And as you can see, it's really not complicated, and you can get a very, very nice result without a lot of work. So I like that kind of crafting for sure. when you don't have a lot of time and you can get a result that looks like that, I think that's a win. So here we go. Let's get this one cut, and then we'll put that on our card soon. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll cut this out next. So let's get that done. It's definitely dry enough. And like I said, you can just kind of, by trial and error, give this a go and see how much water you like in your image and how much intensity of color you want. So it probably depends on what the image looks like too. For this one, I quite like how it turned out this time on the video. I think I like this better than even the one on my card below. I just like the gradations of the color. Just came out really well. So how I got that again was putting more water, not less, and then just brushing the color on very quickly. And it really made a nice set of gradations of color there. So we'll just cut this out and then we'll be able to assemble the card. So that shouldn't be too hard at this stage. And again, if you're just joining me now, I do have some online classes coming up. They all include a goodie bag. Goodie bags range from $15 of consumable product to $30 of consumable product. So all of my classes, I don't include stamp sets because some people already have the stamp set. So I make sure that it's always something everybody can use, like paper, ribbon, embellishments, that sort of stuff. And then you don't have to worry about having repeats of stamp sets and so on. Okay, so that is all cut out. Now look how nice that turned out. I'm really happy with that very simple watercoloring technique. So I hope you'll give it a try. If you do, and you're watching the video and you give this a try, please post a picture of what you've made. It doesn't have to be with this stamp set, but I'd love to see what you do with this simple way of watercoloring. Oh, I'm glad you liked the card, Kathy. Yeah, I just wanted the challenge of turning these berries from blueberries into something else. So I think they kind of look like huckleberries. I was in the southwest of the US over the summer, and these look like huckleberries to me. But they could be a lot of other kind of berries too. And this particular DSP, this is, does anybody know what it is, first of all? Maybe I'll give you a minute. Type in if you know what DSP this is. That's what it looks like on the back. I'll give you a hint. It came out at Christmas, and most of the Christmas and winter DSPs have retired, but this one did not. This one is still available. So if you know what it is, just type it in the comments. I'll give you a minute before we reveal what it is. Oh, hi, Corey. Yeah, I'm glad you could join today. Hope you're enjoying the card. I was just talking about my online classes that are coming up. And also I've got a BOGO coming up. So there's a link right in this video. You can join my BOGO group and get in on that starting 7:30 p.m. on March 17th. So St. Patrick's Day. All right, so we're just going to put that strip on there. And we can take our card base now. All right, so any guesses about what that paper is, what the pattern paper, the DSP is called? Anybody remember from the Christmas and winter catalog? All right, here we go. So I'm going to just take some dimensionals and attach that. I'll show you some other patterns and then maybe you will see what it is. You probably will recognize it, I think. That's just one of the patterns. And I thought when I got it that I wouldn't have a lot of chance to use it really in the Christmas season. And I'm really happy to find ways to use it now because I like it so much. I think it's such a pretty one. And I'm really happy I can use it any time of year, not just at Christmas. So let me show you some other patterns. Okay, so here's another one. All right, there's this one that has the deer and the trees. Okay, this is the one we've been working with. There's another one with trees. I'll show you that. There you go. Anybody remember this one? Aha! Winter Meadow. Alexina, yes, yes. You've got it. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. But yes, you are right. That is exactly what it is. And I actually used this piece of Winter Meadow DSP to make a blueberry card in my recent Blueberry Bunches class. So you can watch for that on my blog. That'll be coming up in the next few weeks as one of the cards that I feature there. And I always give all the instructions and the supply list so that you can make it at home as well. All right, so let's get going on the rest of this. So you'll see on my card here, I have a vellum piece cut out, and here's how I did that. I used these dies. They're the Scalloped Contours dies. So there they are. So that's the middle one. So it's that one there that I'm pointing at. And we're going to layer on our berries, and we're also going to put on our sentiment. And we'll also need to make a bow. So let's do the bow right now. This one is Parakeet Party, which we'll only have with us for a short time now. This is March, and the beginning of May it retires because it was one of the in colors of 2022 to 2024. So if you want this ribbon or anything else Parakeet Party, now is the time to purchase it. And as well for Sweet Sorbet, that one will be retiring. Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, and what's the other one? Tahitian Tide. So they're all going to be retiring when the new annual catalog comes out at the beginning of May. So now's the time to get the items in those colors because they typically sell out before the annual catalog comes out and before they retire. So now's a good time to get them because they're not all sold out yet. So this is the metallic woven ribbon. It comes in all 5 of those in colors, and we're using Parakeet Party today. And this is really a gorgeous color of green. I find it can work with a lot of different things. So today we're kind of using it as Granny Apple Green, and it's going to look really, really nice for that. So let's see, let's make our little bow here. And we'll get that going. Okay, we'll hold that in the middle. So I love this way of tying bows that I learned from the internet actually, because you can hold the middle and make the bow as big or as small as you want. And it also has a flat middle, so you can mail it. All right, there's our little bow. So just as easy as that. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside, and now we can go ahead and assemble this whole thing. And you'll notice I tied that on the spool, and there's my waist. That's all it is. So that's why I did it on the spool, because I just find it works so much better. Okay, so I'm going to use glue dots to put this onto the vellum. It's better, I find, to use a dry glue to adhere to vellum, because the wet glues don't really work on vellum. They just slide off because of the finish. And also, I just find that it works really well to use glue dots because they allow the image to kind of pop up like this, because it's not adhered all over the place. It's not, the whole thing isn't adhered down, just little bits of it. And so it can kind of give it a 3D effect. And I really like that about it. So let's put it this way. And I'm just going to put a couple of glue dots on the back of this too. Just kind of in the middle. And again, it'll give it sort of that 3D effect. So I just put them sort of in the middle there. It doesn't take much to adhere down these things anyway. Oops, I got another glue dot on my finger. There we go. Kind of a hazard of the whole thing, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to put that over here. Now, where do I want this to go? Sort of like that. I don't want to adhere it down until I'm ready. So I'm just kind of eyeballing everything to make sure it's where I want. I think that's about right there. Okay, I will adhere that down. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty straight. Oh, hi, Linda. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, this will be available on replay right after the broadcast today. So yeah, if you missed the beginning or you just want to watch a part again, no problem at all. Okay, so let's see if we can get this all together here. So, whoops, I need one more glue dot because I'm going to use that on my ribbon. I find the best thing for putting ribbons on is glue dots. It just works so well. It just sticks them right on there. Much better than liquid glue. I remember watching somebody trying to do liquid glue on a ribbon, and it did not go well. So if you're able to do that, wow, I'm impressed because I find it does not work. But these dry glues, including the Stamp and Seal, that'll work actually to glue down ribbon as well, especially small ribbons like something like this. So there is our vellum piece that we have all ready to go. What we're going to do is we're just going to flip it over, and we are going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And we're just going to put them exactly where our elements are on the card so that the adhesive doesn't show through. Oh, great. I'm glad you like the card. Yeah. I worked on this yesterday because I just got this idea from looking at this paper that we could use the Blueberry Bunches set in a different way. And I thought, hey, that's value added. Let's do that. I just thought it would be interesting to try something different. All right, where do we want this to be placed exactly? Maybe something like that. Is that going to be in the middle? Let's see if it's in the middle. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty close to in the middle anyway. Okay, that's good. And then our last touch is going to be the embellishments here. So you can see these little embellishments I have on, just little delicate ones to add an extra touch. And I use these iridescent pearls, basic jewels. So you can see this pack, I used an awful lot of them already. So I just had all these teeny ones left. I used most of the larger ones because I find them a little bit easier to use and more useful. But I had all these tiny ones left. And then I thought, well, why don't I put them on this card? Because it just needs a little extra something, not much. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! Take Your Pick tool. So it has the sharp end that you use for die cutting and other things. And then it's got the putty end. So I like this because you can pick up your little jewels with the putty end and not have them stick to your hand. I just find that is the best thing. All right, so let's put 2 there. Let's put 2 over here. Kind of like that. And 2 down at the bottom would be nice too. There's 1. And there's 2. So there you have it. That is our whole card. So once you get the hang of trying the watercoloring technique, it's actually not a hard thing to do at all. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Please do check out my online classes. I've got new things. Oh, and I forgot to tell you one thing about the online classes. For anyone that registers for all 3, so I have 2 $35 classes and 1 $55. They all include goodie bags between $15 and $30 worth of goodies for you of consumable items. If you buy all 3 classes, you'll get a free pack of embellishments as well. So that'll be just to say thank you to you, because every single thing that someone purchases from me makes a tremendous difference to me and allows me to keep doing this for everybody. So I really, really appreciate any customers who make any kind of purchase from me, because it really does make a big difference. All right, well, thanks again for watching today. I hope you have a wonderfully crafty day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.